Now, we know we should be using it when we step outside, but how much do you really know about sunscreen? Because there's a lot of misinformation out there.
There really is. I agree with this. And to help break it all down, Dermatologist Dr. Cohn is here in studio, and you are going to give us all the information we need to know about sunscreen, because sunscreen's been around for a long time, and as a dermatologist, I'm sure you see people using it incorrectly.
Right. I think a lot of problems, sometimes social media can be very misleading. Sometimes it can be great. A lot of amazing dermatologists talk about the proper way to use sunscreen. And there's a lot of people on social media who don't really know as much, who are creating some fear that the sunscreen chemicals are dangerous. There's no evidence that sunscreen chemicals are dangerous to humans. And there are alternatives to other chemicals, more titanium and zinc and other products that people can use. But the bottom line is sunscreen prevents skin cancer. Skin cancer can kill you. Skin cancer can disfigure you. So it's important that you use it properly.
All right, so we're going to bust a few myths here this morning when it comes to sunscreen. And first up this morning is the myth you want to bust is to do with numbers, that higher SPF numbers are useless.
So what happens is a lot of people say, should I really buy something over a 30 or 60? When you measure the SPF value, the amount of SPF you're putting on your skin is actually quite thick. So if you put on a 30, you might only be getting a 20. If you put on a 60, you're probably only getting a 50. So I like higher numbers for those hot, sunny days. There's more margin for error. So it's important for the body you use the right amount. Usually a shot glass would cover the amount for your entire body. It's a lot of sunscreen.
Okay, yeah.
And for the face, either 2 teaspoons or 2 finger breadths of sunscreen to cover the face. So people don't use enough. And it's important that you realize the higher the number, more room for error. So err on the side of caution, go higher.
Can you use too much sunscreen, or is the more the better when applied?
Usually the more the better, as long as it's not irritating your skin. If you find it irritating, there's different ingredients. There's always something you can find that will work if you're breaking out, or if you have allergies. There's so many different formulations that are safe and effective. You should be fine.
Okay, now another myth that you are seeing a lot on social media is homemade sunscreen. I'm just learning about this now. Is it as effective as store-bought?
So a lot of people are coming into my office asking me about homemade sunscreen, and they use ingredients like coconut oil, shea butter, zinc powder. Now, coconut oil and shea butter have a little bit of SPF on their own, maybe 2 or 3, which is very minuscule, and you can combine them to get a bit slightly higher SPF, but homemade sunscreen is not rigorously tested. So I don't really encourage it because people have a false sense of security, but this is a big worrying trend.
Yeah, if we're applying it wrong, I can only imagine if you're making it, you're probably making it wrong or incorrectly as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, on to myth number 3. We only need sunscreen on sunny days?
So one of the things that I struggle with a lot, so there's UVB, which causes sunburn, which is higher in the summer months, and there's UVA, which causes aging of the skin. And this UVA is quite consistent throughout the year. It's high in the winter, it's high in the summer, it's high in the spring and the fall. So what's happening now, which is a good trend, is a lot of companies are using sunscreens and combining them with other ingredients that have anti-wrinkle benefits, for example. So here's one, this Rock Deep Wrinkle Daily Moisturizer. So the reason I like this type of product is because it has SPF. It'll encourage people to use SPF all year long, but it has anti-wrinkle properties. So people will use it in the winter, they'll use it in the spring, and they'll sort of killing 2 birds with 1 stone. You're preventing further UVA damage with the sunscreen, and you're treating wrinkles. And you can see this is just one patient. After a couple short weeks, you see an improvement in her appearance of her skin. So this particular product has retinol, which we know treats wrinkles. It causes increased cell turnover, makes the skin look younger. So products like this, these sunscreen / wrinkle creams, is a good trend because off-season people are more encouraged to use them because remember, UVA penetrates through window glass and can cause problems all year long.
I love that.
All
And
right.
the QR code's there too.
Yeah, I want to remind everybody, if you want to get more information, find out more about Rock and Rock products, you can just get out your phone right now and scan the QR code.
I love that. All right, now your last myth, some sunscreen is waterproof.
So sunscreens aren't waterproof. They are sometimes labeled as water resistant, which means they're good for about 80 minutes of chronic water exposure. So one way to counteract that problem is sun protective clothing, which I think is a no-brainer. These shirts, it saves you a lot of money. You're using a lot less sunscreen. You throw it on. You don't have to worry about your back, your arms, areas you can't reach. So sun protective clothing, in addition to water-resistant sunscreen, is your best bet. Remember, seek shade during the hottest hours, sunglasses, a hat. All these things combined will keep you healthy and safe.
All right, some great information, Doctor. Really appreciate it. Certainly useful this time of year, as yes, we are in the dog days of summer, without a doubt. Thanks again. Appreciate
Pleasure.
it.
This portion of the morning show is brought to you by Rock Skincare, available at Walmart.